Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the team at Chen Real Estate, welcome to the auction of number 14, Valda Avenue in the heart of Mont North. For those of you who don't know me, Calvin Chan's my name. Also the listing agent alongside Jim and Granny, who have been working tirelessly throughout this entire campaign. We also have my colleagues here today, Jerry, Hamish, Mandy, here to assist us with any questions throughout the auction process. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the vendors for entrusting us with the sale of this prime piece of real estate behind us. And neighbours in the crowd, thank you for coming and for making Valda Avenue one of the best streets to live in Mont North. To the bidders in the crowd, thank you for coming and wish you all the best in the bidding procedure. And to the one lucky buyer, we congratulate you in advance on your astute purchase. This auction will be conducted in accordance to the rules and any additional conditions that are made available before the commencement of the auction. As auctioneer, I'll be indicating bids upon request, and the rights to place bids are part of the sellers, otherwise known as vendor bids. If when I decide to place those bids, I'll simply say vendor bid. This auction prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, attempting to prevent us from bidding, and provides fines for misconduct. And last but not least, when this paperwork hits my hand and this property is deemed sold, I'll absolutely take no late bids and offers beyond that point. If you're successful here today, all that I require from you is a little 10% deposit of the full purchase price. Settlement time, you pick the time frame that suits you best. For the sellers have been quite flexible here today, anywhere within the vicinity of 30 through to 60 days, unless prior arrangements have been made with you beforehand. In the instance where bidding against vendor bids, you have two options. Do not bid against the highest vendor bid, which means they will decrease your chances of being successful here today, as we'll get to negotiate with multiple parties afterwards. On the positive flip side, however, is that if you do bid against the highest vendor bid, you earn yourself the exclusive right to negotiate with the sellers, and statistically speaking, you increase your chances of being successful here today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you've all been through the home before. What you see is what you get here at number 14 Valda Avenue, Mont North. We're selling an opportunity to knock down, rebuild, perhaps a renovation as well. If you want to rent it out or live in the existing home, 593 square metres of land, 21.1 metre wide frontage, so perfect for anyone that wants to build a new house. In terms of this location, ladies and gentlemen, second to none, Mont North, your close proximity to the Eastern Freeway, Kunan Secondary College, Birreley Primary School, Box Hill North Primary as well, Mont Albert Primary, all within close proximity. And of course, Mont North, right next to Baldwin North as well, but you're not paying Baldwin North prices, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to kick it over to you now. Ball's in your court. We would like to get this auction started with an opening bid, opening offer, and the first bidder here today will get a free bottle of champagne, ladies and gentlemen, just to get things going. You've had your caffeine hit. Gentleman there wants to make an offer.
11.50.
Let's start at 1.1, sir. Let's go 1.1. We're quoting 1.1 to 1.2. Let's go 1.1, 1.1, thank you. 1.1 bottle of champagne to the gentleman there, thank you. At $1.1 million. At $1,100,000 now. Welcome to the bidding here, sir. At $1,100,000 now. At 1.1 bottle of champagne given away. Some of you have had your coffee, had the caffeine hit. Now's the time to bid and buy. At $1.1 million. At $1,100,000 now, guys. Need to know. At 1.10. At 1.10 now, guys. Any other buyers in the crowd here who can jump in and bid at $1.1 million now. At $1,100,000 here. At 1.1. Per square metre rate. Still very, very affordable in the heart of Mont North at $1,100,000 here. Just sold a property in Box Hill North in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. That one sold for over $1.3 million. So here we are, Mont North 1.1, providing great value to buyers in the crowd. So how about you, sir? Any interest here at $1.1 million? At $1,100,000 now. At 1.1, you've been to the open for inspection before. You know what you're buying here, ladies and gentlemen. At $1,100,000 now. At 1.10. $1,100,000 now. Ladies and gentlemen, I can put a vendor bid, but I'd much rather see something from the crowd here. At $1,100,000 now. At 1.1 now, buyers. Been in court 3 times here. First of all now, at $1,100,000 here. Second opportunity here at $1,100,000. Third and final call now at 1.10. All done. finish and silent here at $1,100,000 now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put a vendor bid here at 1125. Invite you to bid back on top of that at $1,125,000 now. At $1,125,000 now, buyers. What do you say? At 1150 to get you back in front here at $1,125,000 now. At 1125. At $1,125,000. Bid back against you, Jerry. What do you say? At $1,125,000 at the moment. At 1125. At 1125 now, 115 to get you back in front here, ladies and gentlemen. What do you say? At $1,125,000 here. At 1125. The sooner you bid, the sooner we can get out the rain here, ladies and gentlemen. At $1,125,000 at the moment. At 1125. At $1,125,000 here at the moment. At 1125. At $1,125 now. Buyers need to know. At 1125 here. 1125, there's a few conversations happening in the crowd at the moment. At 1125, with interest rates expected to go down next week, ladies and gentlemen, and election out of the way, now is the perfect time to buy. The confidence will be surging back onto the marketplace next week at 1125. At $1,125,000 now. First call now at 1125. Second opportunity now at $1,125,000. Third and final call now at 1125. All done, finish and silent at $1,125,000. Any bids here, Jim? Need to know now. 1125, Jerry. 1125 at the moment. At $1,125,000. Sorry? 1125 at the moment. At 1125, you don't need to know buys?
No.
Brady speaking to a buyer there in the crowd. They're looking at the contract of sale here at 1125. The sooner you bid, the sooner you can buy the property. There'll be less competition coming in for this property here today at 1125. At $1,125,000 now. 1125. What's Grace saying, sir? At $1,125,000 at the moment. 1125 now, as I mentioned before, the sooner you bid, the sooner you can get out of the rain. At 1125 here. At $1,125,000 now. Need to know. 1125. At $1,125,000 now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to hit the pause button and seek further instructions for our vendors. I'll be back with you in just a minute. Thank you.
Yeah. Except I'm never, I am David. Yes, of course.
Yeah. There also means that there's going to be trucks in that corner for a while. When it's finished. If their pictures accurate for what they're going to do, it's going to be you guys are just
Ladies and gentlemen, I've sought further instructions from our vendors here. We're at $1,125,000 at the moment. Bids here. Need to know if there's any buyers interested in the crowd. Now's the time to jump in and put in a bid at $1,125,000 now. At 1125, otherwise we'll pass the property in, ladies and gentlemen, and most likely you'll be sold by the end of the day anyway here at $1,125,000. At 1125. At $1,125,000 now, buyers. Need to know if there's any further interest or increments here at $1,125,000 now. At 1125 now, buyers. In the crowd need to know 1125. At $1,125,000 now. Any interest in the crowd now, buyers? Sorry, 10, 1135. At 1135, welcome to the bidding here at $1,135,000 now. 1135. New interest here. At 1135, bids back against you, Jerry. What do you say? At 1135. At $1,135,000 now. Perhaps 1150 to get you back in front, sir. What do you say? At 1135 now on the left-hand side. At 1135 now. At $1,135,000 here. Bids here back against you, Jerry. What do you say? At 1135. Let's go 10, sir. We're going to get there anyway, it seems. At 1135 at the moment. At 1135, let's go 10, sir. Love to see you back in front. At $1,135,000 now. I'll take it 5, sir. At 1140. 1140 bids back against you, Jim. At $1,140,000 now. 1140 with Jerry. At $1,140,000 now. Bids here on my right hand side at 1140. At $1,140,000. Can I see 50, ma'am, to get you back in front? 10,000? 5,000? 50. 445. 1145 now. 1145. 1145 now. Bids back against you, Jerry and Jim at 1145. At $1,145,000 here on my right hand side at 1145. 5 now. 55. 50. 1150. 1150 now on my left hand side. 1150 bids back against you. 3 bidders involved now at 1150. At $1,150,000 now on the left. At 1150. 1150 on the left hand side. Bids here on the left. Bids back against you under bidders. What do you say? At 1150 now. At $1,000,000. Another $5,000 now. 1155. At $1,155,000 here on my right hand side. At 1155. At $1,155,000 here with Graney at 1155. At $1,155,000 now. Gentlemen's on the phone seeking instructions here at 1155. Can I see 60 to get you back in front here now at 1155. Another 560 now on the left. At 1160. At $1,160,000 here on my left hand side at 1160. At $1,160,000 now on the left. 1160 on the left hand side. Bids back against you, Granny at 1160. At 1160 here. At $1,160,000. What do you say, Grace? 1160? At $1,160,000. He's over here with a towel on his head. He's already got the white flag. At 1160. At 1160 here. At 1160 here now on the left hand side. At 1160. Take it off. Let's start bidding. At 1160. At $1,165. Thank you, Granny. At 1165. At $1,165,000 now. Bids back against you, Jim. 1165. At $1,165,000 now. 1165 on my right. At $1,165,000 now. 1165 with Granny behind the tree here. At 1165. At $1,165,000. 1165. At $1,165,000 now. Bids here at 1165. Bids back against you, Jim. What do you say? 1165. At $1,165,000 now. 70 to get you back in front. At 1165 at the moment. At $1,165,000 now. Gonna call 3 times. First call now at $1,165,000. Second opportunity now at 1165. Third and final call now at $1,165,000. and $65,000. All done.
5.
Was that 5, sir?
5.
No, 70 here, 70 here.
75.
75 now, 1175. 1180 now, 1180 bids back against you, Jim. 1180 here in the corner at 1180 next to the white picket fence at 1180. Lucky number 8 here, number 5, 85. 1185. 1185 on my left hand side. 1185, Jerry, what do you say? At one, sorry? $2,000, 87. 1187 at $1,187,000 here with Jerry. At 1187 at $1,187,000 now on my right. At $1,187,000 now. Any more bids you need to know? 1187. 1187 with Jerry. At $1,187,000 now. First call now, 1187. Second, sorry?
5.
Another 5, 92. 92 now, 92. 1192. At 1,192. 1,093. At 1193. At $1,193,000 now. 1193. At $1,193,000 on my right. 1193. Jim, need to know. 1193. At $1,193,000 now.
98.
98 now, bang, at 1198. At 1,198. 98. 1.2, we're on the market and selling, ladies and gentlemen. For no better bidding here today. 1.2, you will be walking away with the keys. There's no further bidding. At $1.2 million with Jerry. At 1.2 on my right. At 1.2 on my right hand side. It's back against you, Jim. Granny, what do you say?
5.
205. 205, Jerry, what do you say now? 1205. At 1205 on my left hand side. At 1205. At $1,205,000 here on my left. 1205. 1205. Any more bids, Jerry? Need to know now. Granny, haven't heard anything from you in a while here. At 1205. Any more bids or increments now? Need to know. 1205 now. First call now at 1205. Second opportunity now at $1,205,000. $2,000. 1207. At 1207, Jim, what do you say? At 1207. At $1,207,000 now. At 1207. Sorry? 10. At 1210. At 1210. At 1210 on my left hand side here with Jim. At 1210. 1210 here. At 1210 here with Jim. At 1.210. At 1.21 now on the left hand side. At 1210. At 1210. At 1210 now on the left hand side. It's back against you here, sir. 1210. At $1,210,000 now. 210 here. Brady needs to know. $1,210,000 now. 1210. At $1,210,000 now. First floor now. 1210. Second opportunity now at $1,210,000. Third and final call now at $1,210,000. 1210. Another 5. Thank you, sir. New interest here. 1215. At 1215 next to Jerry. At $1,215,000 now. Welcome to the bidding here, sir. At 1215. At $1,215,000. With Jerry here at 1215. At $1,215,000 now. Jim, Granny, need to know now. 1215. Could be the knockout bid that we're looking for here today at 1215. Any further interest or increments here now at $1,215,000 now. 1215. Jim, any more bids here? Need to know. 1215, Granny. 1215. At $1,215,000 now.
1.
Sorry? 1. 16. 20. 20 bids back against you, Jim. 1220. At $1,220,000 now. Gentlemen's here in front at 1220. Standing here at 1220. At $1,220,000 now. Need to know. 1220. 1220 here now in the middle of the road at 1220. Buyers, any further interest or increments? Grace, what do you say now? 1220. Haven't seen you bid. Would love to see you get involved at 1220.
25.
25 now. 30 straight back over the top. 1230 at $1,230,000 now. 1230 at 1230 Jim at $1,230,000 now. 1230. Gentlemen's in front at $1,230,000 now. At 1230. Need to know now, buyers. 1230.
35.
35. 40 straight back over the top. At 1,245. 45. 50. 50 straight back over the top. 60 straight back over the top. 65. 70.
65. 75.
80.
85.
90 now. 1.29. At 1.29.
They're at 85.
Sorry, well, 1.25.
95.
Sorry.
95.
95. 1295 now.
Then buy.
Let him buy at 1295. 1295. Good bidding here now. 1295. At 1295 with Jim. At $1,295,000. Any more bids, buys? Now's the time to jump in. Late stages of the auction here now. 1295. No more bids. Thank you. Are you sure, sir? 1295. Last chance. At $1,295,000 now. First call now at 1295. Second opportunity here at $1,295,000. Third and final call now at $1,295,000. All done. Finish. Silent. No late bids. No late offers here. No regrets, ladies and gentlemen. At $1,295,000. Get ready to celebrate, sir. That's 1.3. Thank you. 1.3. Just 1.295. 1.295 here. No more late bids now. We'll be selling the property away. Final call. First, second, third and final call now at $1,295,000. Get ready to celebrate here, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the team at CHM Real Estate, this property is selling. This property is selling. This property, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. This property is sold. Congratulations. Commiserations to our bidders. Congratulations to our vendors.